Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday, February 18th, I believe, in the evening. Uh, this evening, I want to talk to you about something called karma. What I've learned about karma and what I think karma is and about. I'm open-minded, so I've personally. I personally think that karma is a very powerful spirit energy that works for God or the Creator or the one universal being, whatever it is. And it hands out karmic tasks to people and so on. It's widely accepted for decades, for years, in the Buddhist religion, Indian culture, Sikh, Jainism, etc. And it's been more commonly accepted in the non-traditional sense. The first thing I learned about karma was dating back to grade school, probably grade four. Um, yeah, that young. I'm 34 now. Well, 35 just. What I saw on the board, and it intrigued me, was a sign that said, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." I asked what that meant, and my teacher told me basically it meant to treat people the way you'd want to be treated. Um, so I've always tried to live by that because it's what feels right for me. Um, and on a religious note, many cultures believe that your karmic energy or whatever background that you've had in your life will play a role, if you believe in this, in your reincarnation, your next life. So, for example, from my understanding, if you've been a jerk your whole life to people, you might be reincarnated as a rock or a bug or dirt or something like that, to that effect. Whereas, let's say you're somebody who was poor your whole life, or maybe not poor, that just giving an example, you were poor your whole life, but you were kind, caring, and helpful as you could be to everyone you come into contact with over the years. Uh, you would more likely than not have a better life. And that's not to say that if you have an average life or whatever you consider average, if you do the same, you will not have a better life or not. I highly believe it will. Um, do I believe in reincarnation? I don't know. I'm highly open-minded. I've spoken to a number of people who find that they've had past life experiences as I have. Um, just visions, really, and things that I can't explain. And if you feel like, uh, so basically, for example, what I try and do on a daily, whenever I can, if I try and open the door for people, or help them across the street, or let people in on the road, or they hold the elevator, whatever, from the biggest thing to the smallest thing. If I was in a position to give a friend $20,000, I would. There's a friend who I could use it, and I really would. Um, and I try not to expect anything in return. It's nice if people say thank you or whatever, or acknowledge you, but if not, that's okay. Another example is if somebody's done a kind act for me, I'll say thank you to them, and I'll try and do another kind act for somebody else when I can, whether they thank me or not. Another example, let's say a month goes by and I receive no kind acts from anyone else. People at the door slam in my face, don't hold the elevator, cut you off on the road, etc., etc. I will still be courteous and try and be helpful to people as best as I can. That includes family members and friends and so on. And for example, let's say I'm driving on the road and I accidentally cut somebody off, trying to get over that I didn't see. I will always do my best to wave and say thank you, sorry. And if they were acting like a jerk as well and they're driving too fast and can't see me, just to avoid any negative effect on my karma, I will actually apologize aloud and explain my intentions of why that happened and say I'm sorry. And other thing I think that has really helped me a lot, I've noticed things since when I first started doing this years ago, I noticed things started getting better in my life. Um, will it be the same for you? I don't know. But anyone I felt that I wronged, or even an animal or event or that took place or whatever, I always try and contact the person or animal or whatever. Well, if it's an animal and I know, like my cousin's dog, for example, I used to chase it around when I was much younger, and I eventually said sorry to it. Um, or if it's a person I've wronged, and I know I can get in touch with them, maybe on Facebook, or I call them or email them, I will do my best to apologize. Very often in this scenario, people may not be overly receptive. They might get mad at you, swear at you, hang up on you, but at least you've put that positive intent out there to the energies of the universe, as I like to say. And that's all that really matters. If it's people you remember from growing up that used to bug or whatever, or whatever it is, or an animal you attacked for whatever reason, maybe you were with your friends and whatever, they did things that you didn't like, um, or people that have passed on or have no way of contacting, I'll find a quiet place at home or wherever. I will announce my intentions with the power of intent to the universe, the energies of the universe, and I will name the people or the event or whatever the time frame it took place, and I will say I'm sorry for that, and I ask to be forgiven. At least that way you put your energies out there, and that's another thing I like to do. If you don't like this sort of thing, that's cool. If you want to come up with your own style, that's also cool too. These are just some things I've learned along the way from people and so on. What else can I say? Oh yes, um, helping karma. Let's say you've been wronged, and you know there are things you could do to, make sure that person suffers, i.e., revenge, I guess, if you will. Um, you don't even need to do that, because if you do, yeah, whoever wronged you, they might get their justice, or bad karma, if you will, but you'll also get some too, because you're putting negative energy out there into the universe. And at least that's been my experience. So there's no need to help karma. If you never hear about it, that's fine. Just know that there are things in motion you don't need to worry about anymore. You can be happy and move on. For example, my wife worked for a large company a number of years ago. There was a guy she worked for. Uh, sorry, Butterfingers tonight. Um, she worked for a large company, and he got wrongfully dismissed and he was mistreated and blah blah blah. Well, after a couple of years of struggle, he got hired for a company that actually took over this place, and he was the big boss. He was able to give the orders now to all the people that were jerks to him, and I'm sure you all know stories like that or read of stories like that, from the most awful things to the most little things possible. And that's about all I can say right now about karma. Um, so this is for anybody. If you wish to, if you think there are things you want to fix to help better your life and to make somebody else's life, or change a past event, these are some ways you can do it. Anyhow, my apologies for dropping the phone, the camera. I just did a really heavy meditation, so I still feel a little bit out of it, if you will. But I wanted to share this video with you now. I felt it was the right thing to do. Anyway, I'll be back soon, and I wish you all a good night.